from the Ticats Audio Network. This is Ticats Today with Louie Butko.
Yes, it is Ticats Today for a Thursday, October the 27th, 2022. Thanks for checking us out on the Ticats Audio Network. We appreciate it as always. As the Ticats, we're wrapping up practice for the week ahead of Saturday's game against the Ottawa Red Blacks, the regular season finale. And don't say it doesn't mean anything, because that's not true. Because it is a professional football game. Jobs are on the line. And it is a 5 p.m. kickoff. You'll be able to tune in on the Ticats Audio Network at 4 p.m. when Andy and Bubba get you set for it. And then 5 o'clock, RJ and Luke have the call. Of course, we're all paying attention to the game the following week, that being Sunday, November the 6th, when the Ticats travel to Montreal to take on the Alouettes in the East semifinal. But they do got one more game to get through in the regular season. That's this Saturday against the Red Blacks, and the Ticats held their final practice today before heading to the nation's capital, which they will do tomorrow. Also tomorrow, just want to put this out there, Forge FC also heading to Ottawa to play for the CPL Championship. And you come down and say goodbye to the boys as they hit the road. And that's happening at 10 to 12 tomorrow. So just a little plug for the roommates of the Ticats at Tim Hortons Field. That, of course, being the CPL's Forge FC. And again, 10 to 12 if you want to come down and see that team off before they go play for another championship. Fourth straight year they've been in the championship game, trying to win a third in 4 years. Coming up on today's show, we'll hear from Coach Orlondo Steainuer, as we normally do, and we'll hear from the award winners that we didn't get to hear from yesterday. So we'll hear from the most outstanding Canadian, Tunde Adeleke. We'll hear from the most outstanding offensive lineman, that being Brandon Revenberg, and Seth Small, the team's nominee and team award winner for Rookie of the Year and Special Teams Player of the Year. I had a chance to catch up with all of those guys after practice today. Meanwhile, the news and notes part of the show here, it's very exciting to announce that Curtis Newton is among 9 players nominated for the Jake Goddard Award, which is a award handed out annually to a Canadian player, demonstrates the attributes of Canada's veterans: strength, perseverance, courage, comradeship, and contribution to Canadian communities. It's made up of a committee of Robert Loken and Amanda Brazeau from the Veteran Affairs of Canada, CFL and TSN analyst and honorary colonel of the 417 Combat Support Squadron, Glenn Suter, CFL PA Executive Director Brian Ramsey, and CFL Commissioner Randy Ambrosi. And as mentioned, Curtis Newton, the Ticats nominee. He had never missed a game since arriving in Hamilton until a torn ACL this year. Despite the season-ending injury, he continued to support teammates and coaches, especially during practice throughout his rehabilitation process. He battled through early career uncertainty to firmly establish a role on special teams and went on to be named a team captain. He serves as a leader, providing guidance and support for younger players while also holding teammates accountable when needed. He was involved with Dane Evans' Play It Forward initiative and Sports Interval House and the Be More Than a Bystander program to help end violence against women. And I will be able to get Curtis on the show tomorrow. So once again, congratulations to Curtis for being up for the Jake Goddard Veterans Award. And of course, Chris Van Zyl won that award last year. So we'll hear from Curtis on the honor of being nominated on tomorrow's show here on Ticats Today. Right now, let's hear from the head coach and president of football ops. Here is Orlondo Steainuer. Here's what he offered up after practice today.
It is. They came out focused, right? I thought the coaches did a great job today, just not leaving anything to chance. Players responded. They know we're on and off the field, so they get a little lift from knowing they're not going to be out there long. But still a little bit of work to do yet. They'll get up in the meeting room and still get better, and then we'll get on the plane tomorrow and do like we do every week, and that's expect to win. From some, you do see a little bit of the energy, but sometimes you just see a level of focus and concentration. But I feel like the vets around some of the people that may be playing have done a great job of helping them prepare. And there's nothing like trial by error, right? And so we're waiting to see what happens when the lights are on. Definitely no in the sense of preparation. I can't speak for anybody else's football team. There'll be more changes probably this week than maybe we've had, except for maybe earlier in the year when we had a bunch of injuries. From that standpoint, if you're, but even the thing that's different, the people are alluding to preseason or game is that you have, 80, however many plus bodies. Where this, you have just your complement of, so you got to play, right? You can't rest everybody. You have to play. So we're going preparation. That should never change, and never is a long time, but we just don't approach it that way. No, it's a good question. I think that at times it is deliberate, and it's something that we want to emphasize. And at other times the game may not dictate that, right? They can, you can pack the box a certain way and end up in second and long. You don't want to be in that too many times. At the same time, you don't want to be catching all day as an offensive lineman. So I'd say it's a mixture of both, being deliberate, and also the game plan each week does have something to do with it.
How's Wes looking out there?
Yeah, he looked good. He's full of energy today.
The heel the ankle looks okay.
I heard you tried to sneak somebody yesterday. You tried to lure. Who did you try to lure in there on that one yesterday? Yeah.
Did I?
Daly. But he was a vet. You couldn't get Daly yesterday, Steve. You tried. Is that your understanding? No. He did answer it. He said he did answer it. That's a good point. Yeah, Wes is trending towards playing. Yes. Yeah. He's been vital to us, especially when we struggled early. It's important to come away with points. I know I had alluded to that a little bit earlier in some previous talks here, but he's just a pro. He's steady. He's strong-minded, which I think is equally as important as whatever leg strength you may or may not have. It's not an easy place to kick, right? He's not a dome kicker. He's responded in some weather that's less than favorable for kickers, and he doesn't get shaken, and he's managed to stay consistent. He's a likable guy. I think his teammates really support him, and I think it's really the consistency that enables him to be the best on the field and also be the best teammate.
That is the head coach and president of football ops of the Ticats, Orlondo Steainuer, as he spoke after practice. And as always, full scrums available at Ticats.ca. At the end there, he was talking about the team's nominee for most outstanding special teams player and most outstanding rookie. That is Seth Small. He's appeared in 12 games so far. Currently stands second in the league in field goal percentage. He's 36 of 40. He's also made 23 out of his 24 converts, and he tied a franchise record for longest field goal with a 58-yarder earlier this season against the Argos. And here's what Seth Small had to say about being a double honoree for the team awards this year.
I wouldn't have believed you, first of all. Coming from Texas, I was just thankful to get the opportunity to play professional football. So very thankful that the Tiger-Cats took a chance on me and invited me to camp, and then camp went well, and then I got a call back 5 weeks later. So just thankful for the opportunity, but no, I wouldn't have believed you. I didn't know. I'd never been to Canada. I didn't know very much about Canada. We actually learned a lot about the Texas-Mexican history in Texas. So just thankful. Thank God for the opportunity. Thank the Ticats for taking a chance on me. Yes, I did. I remember walking into the team room every day, and they have jerseys just like that of all the guys in the league. And I remember going in there and looking up to those guys, researching those guys, and say, wow, that's really inspiring that they sat in the same seats that I did. And hopefully, they put my jersey up in there one day and some kickers in there and goes, wow, I want to be like that. It's an honor. It means that I have great teammates around me that are doing their jobs so that I can succeed at a high level. A lot of guys you won't find their name in the paper, like Gordo White, Matt Schiltz, even Dane Evans. When he hurt his pec, he came in and held for a couple games. And just thankful for guys like that are so selfless. I think that really speaks to the leadership on the team because, yes, it's starting to become a younger team, but there's also the leadership of Simone Lawrence, Teddy, Cariel Brooks, Braylon, Dane, all the older guys. They definitely make sure that the young guys are following in their footsteps and setting this team up for success, even after they get done playing. They're fantastic teammates. I mean, they celebrate everything that happens in practice. off the field, even like when we come play ping pong together. Like we spend a lot of time together, so that's really special. We're just really good buddies, and so football is just something that we do together, something else that we do together. So it's really sweet to have those guys. And I remember just even now I still ask Dom so many questions about the CFL, about the rules. So he helped make that learning curve, and he was so welcoming. It's a business, and there's some kickers where another kicker comes in and they kind of give him the cold shoulder, but he's a great teammate. So is Blake, so is Gordo.
Why are you a better kicker than you were at training camp back in May at McMaster?
That's a great question. It's the guys that I have around me. It's the coaches that give me confidence to go out on the field, and then I also just depend on God and say, God, like wherever you're taking me, I trust you and I depend on you. And then it's the guys around me, and then there's some technical things with kicking that I've tried to clean up, but and work on the craft. But it's really the guys around me that allow me to have success.
And that is Seth Small. As we caught up with him after practice, he is the team's nominee for Most Outstanding Rookie and Most Outstanding Special Teams Player. Speaking of which, the 2018 Team Award winner for Most Outstanding Special Teams Player was Courtney Stephen, and he was also the team's nominee in 2016 for the Jake Goddard Award, which we talked about earlier, that Curtis Newton is this year's award. But Courtney Stephen, now Director of Community Partnerships with the Ticats, he's going to be on today's show because a lot's going on with him, including losing his co-host on Tiger-Cats game day. So what's he going to do? I don't know. Well, maybe ask him when he joins the show coming up later on. Right now, though, let's go back to post-practice. Let's hear from the most outstanding Canadian. That was Tunde Adeleke. Had a chance to catch up with him after practice today. Here's what he had to say about being recognized for that award for the second year in a row.
Yeah, just like every year. I appreciate getting recognized by the coaches and then I don't know, the players too. So it's just it's an honor to get recognized as one of the better Canadians in the league, and with our team having like guys like Lamar and Revenberg and the O-line and the Ted and those guys. So I can't even name them all, but we have a lot of Canadian talent on this team and in this league. So it's always good to get recognized for your work. Well, we have a lot of vets on this team, and we know when it comes to playoff football, it's just you got to win 3 games, So. And we've been in close games with Montreal, Toronto, and then whoever from the West is going to be in there. All 3 of those teams we've been in close games or beaten. So we know we can beat those teams. We just have to put down a 3-game consistent streak, And right now we're playing our best football, we believe. So just got to continue that into the playoffs. Yeah, it sucks to say, but you learn the most about yourself and the team when you're losing and when you're not in like the perfect, just winning every game by 40 kind of thing, So. We've done that. A lot of guys here were here in 2019 where football was just practically easy for us, and it didn't really work out. So we've been tested. We've been in situations where we've allowed close games to go the other way, and now when we go into these close games, like we know exactly where we can go wrong and exactly how to fix it to win it. So even the games we've won have all been close games. So we're just confident that if you put us in the same room with another team and we play our best football, we can come out with a win. If it's by 1 point, it's by 1 point. Expect the guys to make plays out there. At the end of the day, we're going to Ottawa to win, so it doesn't matter who's on the field. If we have a new guy there, the starter or the guy who's playing there right now is going to coach him up to the best to play like him or even better. And that's how a lot of guys get their opportunity in this league is late games like this. They go out there, they make a couple plays, and then next year they're one of the big guys in the league. So I hope one of the new guys makes a lot of plays. I hope I make a lot of plays out there, So we're trying to win that game.
That is Tunde Adeleke, the team's nominee for Most Outstanding Canadian, as we caught up with him after practice today. And one more piece of sound to get to from post-practice, last but certainly not least, and as always, full scrums available at Ticats.ca. I had a chance to catch up with the most outstanding offensive lineman unanimously for the second year in a row, Brandon Revenberg. Here's what Rev had to say after practice today.
Oh, man, it's always an honor, especially with the O-line room that we have right now. I mean, I'm so proud of these guys and the way we've all been playing as a unit, so it's definitely an honor to be picked for this. So. Yeah, the old group of misfits here, right?
Yeah, right.
Honestly, the biggest thing is just spend that time together and kind of getting that continuity going. And I mean, we're together obviously when we play, but even off the field, in the O-line room, when we're eating lunch, even just hanging out after hours, right? Oh, 250 Milty.
Speaking of fines.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of look at it a little different in the sense, but for us, we want to win. You know, at the end of the day, you know, everyone's out there, everyone's trying to win this game. That's the most important thing right now. Yeah, I mean, it's a blast. Like I said, it's one of those things that we love doing, and the fact that we're being able to kind of tee off and really get it going has been a really good time. Oh, 100%. I mean, you know they're still going to bring it. Not then. Like, we know they're still going to bring it. There's a lot to play for them, right? Whether it's pride, whatever it may be, contracts, there's still lots on the line for them. And, I mean, at the end of the day, they're a team still, right? They still want to win as well.
And that's Brandon Revenberg as we caught up with him after practice today. And as always, Ticats.ca, where you can catch full scrums. And our thanks to Jack, the intern, for doing a great job making sure you get to hear what the players say every day after practice. All right, shifting gears, very pleased to be joined now by the Director of Community Partnerships for the Hamilton Tiger-Cats. He's a former Tiger-Cat and an analyst on the Tiger-Cats Audio Network in search of a new co-host. Because, Court, your co-host would rather be tackled by professional athletes than continue to do a show with you. I mean, I'd be a little insulted. Just kidding, buddy. But to see Mike back out there being a pro football player once again, somebody who knows him well, what do you think of that?
Man, it must be rough in that audio booth, but no, man, it's awesome to see 35 suiting back up, a familiar face, somebody who's done his thing in the donut box plenty of times. I mean, I guess his analysis must have just been too accurate. They had to bring him into the meeting room to get it firsthand. So I'm happy for him.
We had to joke. How many shows does he have to go back and delete where the criticism might have been a little harsh on his teammates? Anything we should be aware of?
Always a pro, Mike Daly. You can count on him. So I think he's good.
Can we just talk about, his leadership? I mean, you got to play with him. You know what he does. 7 years in the CFL. He's a Vanier Cup champion with McMaster, a guy who's played in 3 Grey Cups. I mean, it's a younger room, that special teams. You've been that guy before, that veteran leadership. What do you think, Coach O, Craig Butler, what do you think they're hoping to get out of Mike Daly?
Well, this is the time of year where everything matters so much more. You're living under a microscope, and to have guys who visited that place before that very few get to go, like a championship game, that's priceless. So to put Mike in the locker room, put him on the practice field, it's like having an additional coach out there. And I think that can go a long way, regardless of if he gets on the field or not. That's going to be an asset to that locker room and that team, just a veteran presence and another guy who can echo the things that the coaches are preaching. And he's familiar already too. So that's going to help a ton. There's almost zero learning curve, except for the fact that, maybe the language of a few new plays here or there, but being a vet, he's going to pick that up right away. And it's more so what he can do to help the other guys as they're navigating uncharted waters, the younger guys, that is.
Doesn't hurt that he doesn't have 17 games worth of damage to his body. I mean, he's coming in tip-top shape. You and I both know Mike pretty well. That guy hasn't lost his step since his playing days. I mean, it was only a year ago, but that guy looks like he's ready to get right back in the lineup.
And he's a dad, an experienced dad, so he should have some old man strength that he's bringing to the table with those fresh legs.
Well said, buddy. Let's talk about this team because it's a pretty interesting week. Some guys have admitted it's weird. Coach says it's tricky. It's not difficult, but there's going to be some roster decisions. Guys who want to rest, can't rest. Guys who don't want to rest or maybe asked to take a break. It is a weird week. As a player, how do you keep your mind focused on the task at hand, which is winning the football game on Saturday?
Well, I don't think anybody wants to enter the playoffs cold. You want to be warmed up, you want to be primed, but at the same time, you did just go through 17 other football games, and at this point in the year, the hurt rate is 100%. Now, some guys may not be on the injured list, but I guarantee you that if you put the jersey on and you broke a sweat, that something is achy right now. So the guys who are going to get heavy minutes in the game, the guys who don't get a chance to get a break any other opportunity through the season, I think you rest some of those guys because that's going to give you your best shot. But really and truly, you really want to win this game because the Ticats are the hottest team in the CFL right now, and that momentum is priceless. So to be able to keep that going into Montreal, which will be a hostile environment, we know that it's going to be loud. We know that they have a great team on that side of the ball. You can't look past Ottawa, but you want to go into Montreal on a high note. You definitely don't want to lay an egg this week.
Yeah, well said. I want to talk about, we've been talking about the awards, Timothy White. This guy really special. And, we talked about it with him yesterday, the catches that he's made down the stretch. I mean, you can make the argument that he is a huge reason, if not the reason, the Ticats won against Calgary, made that big catch for Matthew Schultz to set up the Seth Small field goal last week. What have you seen out of number 12 and what makes him such a special player?
Well, it's the guys who show up consistently that give you a chance to win, but it's the guys who show up when the lights are the brightest and the clock is the lowest who actually win those games. And I really love the fact that Tim White, the guy who's had the most chances to catch the ball in the league, he's got the most receptions. He's the one who's been making those big plays, because who else would you rather count on than the guy who you go to most frequently? He's stepping into that role. He's embracing it. He's running away with it, quite honestly. And he's giving headaches to these opposing defenses, because it's not just the speed that he's hitting people with, but it's the possession style catches that he's making while he's getting banged around in the clutch. And I think if you have a guy like that on your roster, it gives not only the quarterback more confidence, but it gives the offensive coordinator more confidence to call certain plays in certain situations and really have faith that they're going to come through for you. So Tim White, all honors he's gotten, he's earned, and he's deserved.
Tunde Adeleke, the most outstanding Canadian for the second year in a row. You've played, you guys have never really crossed paths. You guys were supposed to play together in 2020, I know, but he was in Calgary. You were here, you were in Calgary, but what is it about Tunde? Again, an outstanding Canadian, but maybe you can put us in the perspective of a safety and just the way he directs traffic back there. He is the general of a very talented group of DBs. What makes him special?
Well, it's, you can start with the obvious things. Like, he's got the physical traits. He's range to cover numbers and numbers, and he's like the eraser back there. If anybody does make a mistake, he's there to clean it up and get rid of it. He's a great tackler, which can't be overstated, especially in a defense where you're going to take chances. You're going to apply pressure. You're going to play cover zero. You need somebody who can get over there and make an open field tackle, which I've said on record is the hardest thing to do other than parenting 2 under 2. But no, Tunde, the things that he does that don't get seen by the average fan might be the most important. Getting guys lined up, communicating, making sure everyone's on the same page. The Ticats don't bust a lot of defenses. And that's because they got somebody in the center of the defense who's making sure the left side, the right side, the front, and the back are all working in unison. And that's what you get from a veteran safety, a guy like Tunde, he's played in big games. And he's made a ton of plays, and his consistency this year is just a display of the hard work that he's been putting in, and him taking coaching from a lot of the great coaches that are on this staff who've helped him come along. So it's great to see him getting his flowers.
Jovan Santos-Knox getting his flowers as well. He's 9 off the franchise record for tackles in a season. He's already broken 100. So his name will be in the record books, regardless, for the Ticats. A really consistent player. I mean, him and Cam Kelly at that linebacker spot. Obviously, Simone with some injuries this year, but number 45, invaluable to the success of this Ticats defense.
Yeah, and he's about as tough as they come, because, in this league, you're going to have tough, strong running backs like a Kadeem Carey or a Sutton or whoever it may be that you got to tackle, and it weighs on you a little bit. And then you've got speedy, fast guys that are going to try and beat you to the edge. And then you've got those 300-pound offensive linemen leaning on you. But none of that is enough to prevent Jovan Santos-Knox from getting his name in the stat book, right? He's had multiple 10-tackle games. He's been healthy through it all, and that's one of the main things. It's like your best ability is usually availability. And for a guy who's making heavy contact so many times per game, his ability to stay in there and be consistent and be present, that's huge. So, that's preparation, man. You got to be in the weight room. And as they say, That's why you lift all them damn weights.
Has never missed a game while with the Hamilton Tiger-Cats. And you talk about consistency and getting better game in and game out. If you can stay in the lineup, you can stay healthy. Obviously a huge part of success. And then to have the skill set that Jovan does obviously speaks for itself. This week at Tim Hortons Field, some celebration of some young athletes. The Night of Champions was held here at Tim Hortons Field. Take off your Ticats Audio Network analyst hat, put on your Director of Community Partnerships hat, my friend. What a great night celebrating some great local athletes in the city.
Yeah, I mean, as the biggest football show in town, it's important for us to invest back in the community and just to recognize people who are going the extra mile. So Night of Champions is an opportunity for us to welcome people into Tim Hortons Field. We put on the lights, we bring out all the balloons and all the plaques and awards, and we recognize not only the young student athletes who are great on the field, but the ones who demonstrate the character traits that you would think of as a role model. You know, somebody who is a team captain, somebody who is a leader in their community, somebody who's persevered through adversity. And some of these stories, my goodness, when you hear them, it really can motivate you, whether you are another student or you're a parent or you're a coach or you're a professional. These kids are inspiring, nothing short of remarkable what a lot of them have gone through. We had a kid who battled back from a broken vertebrae to finish his senior season playing football. We've had kids who went out and worked 2 jobs and then volunteered to raise money so that their teammates had the financial ability to play football. Just a number of excellent things happening throughout the city, and it's often not something we talk about because it goes under the radar, but it's great that we're able to recognize them. And then also, thanks to our partners from Stelco, we're able to put a little money in their pocket towards their post-secondary education. So once they send us that confirmation that they did get accepted, that transaction will go through and we'll have some smiling faces through the hammer.
Yeah, $1,000, 5 $1,000 scholarships handed out on Tuesday night.
Don't cheat them, Louie. We gave them $2,000 each.
Sorry, that's right. $2,000 scholarships. Which again, I mean, I was going to say $1,000 goes a long way these days. $2,000 for sure. I mean, this for some of these kids, you know, life-changing money.
Yeah, it'd be good. Get you a few books and hopefully maybe get you down to that dining hall for a couple of big meals because these guys do play football.
Yeah, I saw some of the pics. We had them up on our Ticats social media account, and you also recognized some coaches as well, Coach of the Year. So it was a great night down here this week. Court, I know not much really happening with the professional teams at Tim Hortons Field now as we got Forge hitting the road for the championship game this weekend, Ticats hitting the road, then on the road for the playoffs. But you're still super busy. What do you got going on here?
Well, actually, I'm planning to hit the road as well because it's not often that you get to see Forge FC play in a championship game and then turn around and have the playoffs playing in the CFL. So I'm going to put on my hat, my fan hat, and I'm going to be traveling with the teams to go see those guys kick butt and take names and hopefully bring a couple more championships back to the city.
Yes, well said, buddy. Thank you so much for doing this as always, Court. Enjoy the games this weekend. And again, thanks for doing this, man.
My pleasure.
My thanks to Courtney Stephen for joining me today, and my thanks to you as well, because you know that we would not be able to do this show without your support. So thank you. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of this show or any of the other great shows we have for you on the Ticats Audio Network, like a brand new episode of Ticats This Week with RJ and Luke that will be dropping tomorrow here on the Ticats Audio Network. Speaking of tomorrow, we'll be back as well, same time, same place. Hope you'll join us then. From all of us here at the Ticats Audio Network, I'm Louie Butko. Hoping you have a great day.
Ticats Today can be heard every weekday, and we would like to hear from you. Email us at gameday@ticats.ca. Have a question or an opinion? We want to hear it. That's gameday@ticats.ca. Subscribe to the Ticats Audio Network on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.